Good morning, children of God.
Good morning.
Ooh, that worked. What a wonderful day. Let's begin in prayer. We breathe and we rest, and we acknowledge the presence moving in and through us. And we say thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to come together. Thank you for the opportunity to worship together, to pray together, to learn together, to live in oneness. And so we move forward this day and every day in the name, in the nature, and in the power of the Christ. Amen.
Book.
Let us stand and sing.
This is the miscellaneous writings of H. Emily Cady, and as you know, she was one of the first Unity writers, author of Lessons in Truth, How I Use Truth, a number of others. But this is miscellaneous writings, and this little dear one was published in 1917 by the Unity School of Christianity when it was still downtown in Kansas City at 9th and Tracy. And it's been well used. I bought it, or was given it actually, at a church in the Bay Area years ago. I'm going to read today from the chapter Oneness with God. And Emily Cady was a very educated woman, a great reader, and really almost of that, not his generation, but of a generation that was very close to Emerson and studying him. And she begins the chapter with a quote from Emerson. Prayer that craves a particular commodity, anything less than all good, is vicious. Prayer is the contemplation of the facts of life from the highest point of view. It is the soliloquy of a beholding and jubilant soul. It is the Spirit of God pronouncing his works good. This is Emerson, remember, not Cady. But prayer as a means to effect a private end is theft and meanness. It supposes duality and not unity in nature and consciousness. As soon as man is consciously at one with God, he will not beg. I think she put in the word consciously. It's in italics. So she goes on and says, true prayer then is just a continual recognition and thanksgiving that all is good and all good is ours, now as much as it will ever be. It is this taking by faith first that brings anything into actuality or visibility. One instant's view of the facts of life from the subjective or from God's side makes all our carnal aspirations and struggles, all our ambitions, all our boasted wisdom and pride sink into utter nothingness, and we see the wisdom of men but foolishness with God. Good morning. All other objects in life fade into insignificance beside the one of getting more and more into conscious oneness with the Father, where at all times we shall pray the true prayer of rejoicing and thanksgiving that all good is the only real thing in the universe. When we come into this perfect recognition of unity instead of duality, then indeed we shall know prayer to be but the soliloquy of a beholding and jubilant soul. The words of Emerson, of course, and I love the language, the jubilant soul. It's not a word we use much anymore. The joyful, the happy. Seek the light from the interior, not from external sources. Why always seek to interpose human help between our soul and God? Emerson again says the relations of the soul to the divine spirit are so pure, that it is profane to interpose help. It is whenever a mind is simple and receives divine wisdom, then old things pass away. The means, the teachers, the texts, the temples all fall. In order that we may hear the inner voice and may receive the highest form of teaching, which alone can open the eyes of our spiritual understanding, our mortal self, the human intellect, must become absolutely still, forgetting to argue or discuss. The Father can only lead into all truth when we listen, to hear what He will say and not to what others will say. We must learn to listen, not anxiously and with strained ears, but expectantly, patiently, trustingly. We must learn how to wait upon God in the attitude of, and she quotes the Bible, "Speak, Lord, for thy servant heareth." We must learn to wait upon God in the attitude of, "Speak, Lord, for thy servant heareth," if we would know truth. We must put aside all preconceived opinions of the truth, either our own or any other person's, and with receptive souls open toward the source of all light, say continually, "Lord, teach me." We must become as babes in human wisdom before we can enter into the deep things of God. But believe me, the revelation which the Spirit of truth will make to you when you have withdrawn from all outside sources and learned to listen to the voice in your own soul will be such as to make you know, no longer believe, know your oneness with the Father and with all His children. They will be such as to fill you with great joy. For these things have I spoken unto you, that my joy might remain in you, and that your joy might be full. The words of Jesus.
August the 24th, Sunday. Thought by thought, I affirm divine ideas that are my God-given reality. What kind of thoughts am I allowing to take up residence in my mind? The answer is thoughts that are life-affirming and therefore faith-building. Such thoughts are a powerful way that I give direction and purpose to my life each day. I realize that life-affirming thinking is even more powerful than positive thinking. Being a positive thinker, I believe that something good will happen and await its appearance. As an affirmative thinker, I give myself the go-ahead to claim the goodness of God that is already waiting for me. Thought by thought, I am affirming divine ideas that are my God-given reality. Such thoughts are tools that give shape and form to my life. And from Chronicles, O Lord, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, our ancestors, keep forever such purposes and thoughts in the hearts of your people, and direct their hearts toward you. From Chronicles.
So we hold that thought, for it is the truth of us, at the depth of our being. And in this time of prayer and meditation, we rest. rest our physical body. And we rest our mental activity as well. We don't fight it. We don't argue with it. We just allow it to rest. And with each breath we take, we move to that place in consciousness that Jesus called our secret place, our inner chamber. It is that place in consciousness where we experience at-one-ment. It is here we know that which I seek is found first in mind, in divine idea, and then into expression in my world. With each breath, I am sure I am at peace. And in this holy moment, I allow this feeling of joy, of wonder, to move in and through me. I embrace it and make it mine. And as this feeling moves in and through me, I allow it to expand and grow. That which I choose to be in this moment joins with others of like mind. And this oneness moves from us, through us, into our world. Universe. And with each breath I take, it swells in magnitude and wonder. And I feel it. Somewhere, somewhen, someone says, thank you, thank you, thank you, for in this moment, in this now, that which you have sent is exactly what I needed. The joy of it, the wonder of it, the peace of it. And I give thanks. And that gratitude moves back to you, in and through you, and the circle is complete. And in this holy moment, I allow that flow to continue, to grow, to know. Holding on to this wonder, gently, easily, and effortlessly, I bring my attention back to this now, to this when. And from the depth of my being, I pray as Jesus, my elder brother, has taught us. Our Lord's Prayer.
the light that you find. all your dreams unfold. Love is there. In the silence, there is a sacred place, a secret meeting place. Love is there. In the silence, where every color blends and every rainbow ends, God is there. In the light that you find, that you know He's of mind. In the silence, your path is paved in gold, and all your dreams unfold. Love is there. Peace is there. Truth is there. God is there.
And I'm supposed to talk after that, right? Love is there. Peace is there. Where? Right here. Right here. Within you. This whole month we've been talking about prayer and meditation. It's one of the tools that we use to grow in awareness of our oneness. It is in prayer and meditation that we do our work. I get to live it out here. That's the fun part. But I lift myself up in prayer and meditation. And everybody has their own idea about what that means. And I'll share mine with you. In prayer I ask, in meditation I receive, and in action I express. In prayer I ask, in meditation I receive, and in my world I express. And if I don't do all three, I'm missing the boat. Just a little. So if it's not working for you yet, you got one or two of them down pretty well, but you're still not doing that expression piece just yet, then you need to start your day in a new way. And I haven't done this in a while because I'm going to change the language in a little bit. Okay? I love you. Together?
I love you.
That's the first thing you say in the mirror, first thing in the morning. To you. Out loud. I bless you. Together? I bless you. That's the second thing you do in the mirror, out loud. I appreciate you. Together? I appreciate you. And then the biggie, and the word change. I behold the Christ as you. Together? I behold the Christ as you. Ooh, if that didn't make God bumps, you need to say it more often. I behold the Christ as you. See, sometimes we lose pictures of what the Christ is all about. We have this kind of nebulous, floaty, picture. And that's not who Jesus was. Jesus was a guy who walked in the dirt. That's why they washed their feet and that kind of stuff, I'm told. Okay? Here was a human becoming that expressed in a whole new way, one that hadn't been done yet, and brought us the message. Pray like this, and he gave us a prayer. Live like this, and he walked it. Be this, and he became it. It being what? Our oneness, our expression of God. Now, I have to tell you, only because it comes back to me, and when I hear it, I say, okay, maybe I need to make sure that I'm on the same page with everybody else. When I say to you, I behold the Christ as you, and I'm talking about myself as well, I'm not being presumptuous. I'm not coming from an ego place. I'm coming from the truth of me. Okay? So don't be concerned about that. If the language is a little tough for you at first, you're going, man, I don't think that I can look in the mirror and say I see the Christ. I don't know that I'm ready to do that. All right? If you can't, that's fine. Do this. I see the Christ in you. And then peek. And guess who's going to show up in your mirror? That would be the Christ of you. Right? See, it's learning how to look past this stuff. Somebody asked me one day, why is it that we're all so different? If we all have the same oneness within us, why is it we look so different? And I love this explanation of all of them that I've heard so far. You are all builders. You were all given a set of perfect plans. Perfect plans. Oneness at one meant. God in expression. That's the plans you were given, your blueprints. And some of us are pretty good builders in some areas. And some of us are pretty good builders in others. How many of you are electricians? I'm still in the dark in some areas of my building because I haven't figured out where to put the plugs in yet. How many of you want plumbing in your house? Some of us are still using outhouses. It's how we build. Okay? But the plan is perfect. This is my point. The plan is perfect. You get to choose how to build it. And the best part in the construction trade that we are in is if a wall doesn't fit, tear it down and replace it. This wall that I have put up to keep me away from the truth of me is no longer the truth of me. I tear it down. And oh, I didn't know what that was behind that. Right? Because we do that. We throw walls up and we're not sure what's behind them. We forget what's behind them. We forget the truth of us. And that's behind a wall. We think, oh, but this one walked on water, and I have trouble drinking clean water. How is this going to work for me? And we do a comparison thing. We put Jesus way up here and us way down here. And here's the truth that he gave to you. We are one. No difference. No difference. The truth of you is the same truth that I have. The truth of you is an expression, learning how to express. So when you say, I am, using the name that God told Moses, I am that I am, it's not presumptuous. It is the truth of you. When you say, I am the Christ, I see me as the Christ. It's the truth of you. You're seeing yourself at the soul of you, at the heart of you. Now, how do I get it out here? What are you afraid of putting out here? Which piece? I mean, my goodness, if I healed everybody, what would my neighbors think? They'll be down the road going, right? If I lived in joy all the time, What will my neighbors say? Let me tell you what people say to me. To me. I love you and you really, really, really hate me. How can you be happy all the time? How can you be joy-filled all the time? Get sad. Okay, here it goes. Ready? Okay, I'm done. And the truth of me is there are times when I am sad. There are times when I am depressed. There are times when I don't express in my world at all. But I've discovered something that I will share with you this morning. Because I know I have the choice, I choose the joy. That doesn't mean I don't recognize what's going on, but I choose the joy. I see the problems in the world and I choose the joy. Oh, speaking of joy, I have to share with you. We have a little black-faced deer that showed up for a while, and she wasn't around for the longest time. She arrived back on Saturday with 2 little ones still in spots, and Dad over there eating grass. That's what dads do, I think, just eat. So sometimes when you don't see something in your world, you think, oh, gee, what's wrong? What's going on? And the truth is, life continues. New things are going on. New expressions being formed in your world. And you just need to be open to it. Now ask yourself the questions, particularly any of those of you that are hunters or know a hunter. If I went out to look for this deer, would I ever find her? How does the word no sound to you? Particularly if it's hunting season. Because in hunting season, the deer all run away. I don't know where they go. But according to my hunting brethren, they say, I know where the deer live. I go there in the hunting season. There's a big sign going, nah, 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 nah. And no deer. Okay? Now, that's not always true, and we understand that too. That's part of my world too. And it's okay. The key is I need to be open to my world. I need to be open to the good of it that will come into my life when I will allow it. And when you do that, you influence your friends and neighbors. I got an influence story for you. Okay? We've lived on our hill now for 5, almost 6 years. We have a neighbor, wonderful couple, two little ones now. Wonderful, beautiful garden that they regularly spray with deer go-away stuff. I think it's coyote urine or something. I don't know what it is. All I know, the theory is it's supposed to make the deer go away. And for the 5 or 6 years that we've lived there, we've said the same thing. You understand, of course, that you're living in the deer's backyard, not the other way around. Yeah, but they eat my plants, and there's a whole long but does, okay? This year, no deer go-away stuff, and that mama and her babies went and ate in their garden this weekend. And she said, we watched them from our window. We watched them from our window. So, some of us are faster than others. It only took me 6 years to convince one neighbor that they really ought to just enjoy this wonder that comes into their backyard rather than being all testy about their plants being eaten. Is it going to make any difference in the world? Probably not. Except that now this mom and her little one, Faith is her name, watched those babies, saw something new in their world, in a new way. In a new way. You see, that's what being open to what's going on in your world is so much fun to do, to be. It's the joy of it. It's a yay stuff. It's fun to look out in your garden and wonder which plants are going to be nibbled off in the morning. Yeah? Linda said to me this morning, deer were in the yard last night. I said, how do you know? She said, all the blossoms are going off of that pod. Yeah? They came in and ate. So what? So what? The joy of it. If you don't want him to eat it, cover it. You know, we have a neighbor that does that. He doesn't want him to eat his rose bushes, so he has a nice screen around him, and it's real pretty. And he has the dog on the other side of the screen. And the deer are really bright. They don't go eat his roses. Okay? All of God's children get what they need in whatever two-legged or four-legged form they choose to take. The best thing about my experience with these animals is I've discovered one thing for sure that I can say. Regardless of the species, with the exception of me looking in my mirror, none of them try to be anything other than they are. The deer don't try and fly, although they make really good attempts at it. Okay. The birds don't walk on the ground. Well, the turkeys do, but they know how to fly. Okay. They're all being, from the depths of them, what they are in expression. Only you and I think that we don't need to do that for some reason. We don't need to express who we are. We need to express what others think we are. And what we think others think we are. And what we think others might think, what I may think that they think I am. And then I wonder, why am I confused? Right? How about just cutting right through it? Bam! In this moment, I choose. In this moment, I choose to express the truth of me, the Christ of me. In this moment. Now, in another moment, I can change my mind. But in this moment, I'm going to breathe. And I'm going to express the truth of me. And when you learn how to do it once, just once, you will have the key to do it again and again and again and again. Behold, I am the Christ. And pretty soon that morning is this. I'm no longer hiding who I am. I'm living who I am. I'm being who I am. And when more and more and more of us do it, slowly but surely, the old walls are torn down and new life is experienced. Breathe. I am together. I am. This day, I choose to be. I am. Together, I am. And so it is.
The activities, programs, and services of this ministry are presented on a love offering basis. All gifts, regardless of size, are gratefully accepted. You may participate either by sending your gift to Christ Unity Church, 540 North Holly Street, Medford, Oregon, 97501, or by visiting us on the internet at www.unitymedford.org.